Hi, everyone, and welcome to episode 64 of the Essential Zodiac podcast. I'm your host, Cynthia McNulty.
And I'm Audrey Fannin.
So today we're coming to you a day early on Thursday because we'll be talking about two events for this episode, the Summer Solstice and the Capricorn Full Moon. But first, be sure to check out all the new specials I have for June on my website, especially for those of you who are born in June. Now is the time for your solar return. You can find out more about your return and how to order on my website under current promotions. So the summer solstice is when the sun moves into the cardinal water sign of Cancer and marks the official start of summer. For those of us here on the East Coast of the U.S., this happens today, June 20th at 4:50 p.m. It's the longest day and shortest night of the year for those of us who live in the Northern Hemisphere. You'll also hear it called Midsummer or Litha by pagans like myself. So at the summer solstice, the sun appears to stand still in the sky. The word solstice derives from sol, which means sun, and sisteri, which means standing still. For about 3 days, the sun appears to stop in its tracks. In truth, its relative position to the earth doesn't change much, hence this illusion. From our vantage point in the Northern Hemisphere, the sun is finishing its northbound journey and is moving southward, treating us to the lushness of summer. The summer solstice kicks off the Cancer season. The summer solstice marks the start of Cancer season in astrology. At the solstice, the sun appears to pass directly over the Tropic of Cancer. This is the moment when astrologers say that the sun has entered Cancer, meaning that it's now traveling through the part of the Zodiac band represented by Cancer. Each season lasts about 30 days, but the solstice always coincides with the sign of the crab. The summer solstice is a good day to balance active and receptive energies. In astrology, the sun is associated with the active yang principle. But here's the paradox. The Cancer zodiac sign rules the receptive yin principle and is governed by the emotional moon. So we have the forthright sun stopping in its tracks to usher in a new flowy solar cycle. This is the ideal time to consider ways we can balance the yin and yang forces in our lives. Where could you use a little more gentle receptivity? Where could you yang it up and put in more action-oriented, decisive energy? We all contain both energies within us. In an age where humans are becoming more fluid and redefined than ever, the summer solstice is an awesome moment to widen our notions of what it means to be us. The sun is actually at its farthest point from the earth at the summer solstice. One common misconception is that the summer solstice begins when the sun is close to the earth, heating up the temperatures. No. At the summer solstice, the sun is actually at its farthest point from the earth. The tilt of the earth on its axis is what determines the amount of light and heat we get from that great ball of fire, the sun. At the summer solstice, the Northern Hemisphere is at its most direct tilt into those golden blazing rays. So the life-giving sun is directly overhead, giving us light into the wee hours. That is one of my favorite parts about the summer. You know, you get those nice long days where it's light for so long. I really enjoy that. Solstice rituals date to ancient Egypt, Rome, and Stonehenge. Throngs of festival-styled solstice revelers gather for the summer solstice at the ancient Stonehenge site. But this stuff goes way back. In ancient Egypt, summer solstice coincided with the first phase of the Nile's flooding, marking the Egyptian New Year. In ancient China, they celebrated the switch from yang to yin energy for the next half of the year. The Romans honored the goddess Vesta, which is one of astrology's asteroids, with their Vestalia solstice soiree. And the Greeks honored Cronus, or Saturn, the god of agriculture, at their Cronia festival, where slaves and free people feasted as equals for a day. So now I have your summer solstice horoscopes. The energy here will carry you through until the autumn equinox. Now, usually when I do the horoscopes, they're for the 2 weeks of the moon cycles, but this will last longer. Now, as I said in the beginning of the episode, there's 2 topics we're going to be talking about. So after I do the horoscopes, stick around because we'll be talking about the Capricorn Full Moon. So now, Aries, the sun in your 4th house of foundations challenges you to strengthen your base of support. Your best bet for getting your own needs met is to increase your sensitivity to others' feelings and express your desires with compassion. You'll really feel the need to see how you can push yourself forward in social and professional networks, as well as improve close personal relationships to strengthen you for intense highs and lows ahead. Taurus. In your 3rd house of connections, the Cancer sun inspires deeper contact with the people you interact with in your daily life. When you speak and listen from your heart, seemingly random conversations can lead to unexpected insights. Alternatively, you may find yourself growing closer to neighbors, becoming more active in your community, or getting more attention at work. Gemini. With the sun in Cancer in your 2nd house of self-worth, you are becoming sensitive to the fact that you are your most valuable asset. You discover personal power by feeling in your gut that you have a lot to give. Your central purpose is to have confidence in your ability to take care of yourself, even as your emotional life ebbs and flows. Attaining self-realization means knowing how to fend off those who might try to take advantage of you. Being yourself means that you are comfortable in your own skin and that you allow yourself to develop sentimental attachments to things. Cancer. Happy birthday, Cancer! The sun is in your 1st house of self and marks a new year of personal growth and a time to get in touch with your deepest desires. Don't ignore secret talents you may have hidden away from the world. Leo. The solstice sun in your 12th house of the spirit renews your connection to your dreams, higher self, and intuition. Take some downtime to tune into these subtle levels of reality and recharge your batteries. Allow Cancer's homebody influence to give you some downtime. Virgo. In your 11th house of teamwork, the Cancer sun calls for nurturing connections with friends and allies. Networking, volunteering to help others, or simply socializing with friends revitalizes your inspiration, something you might desperately need if you find that your current way of doing things at work or in your daily life isn't working. Libra. The sun shines on your 10th house of career, renewing enthusiasm for cultivating your ambitions. When you're working at full capacity, you'll be nearly inexhaustible as you promote yourself publicly in order to improve your professional presence or change your purpose completely. Scorpio. Illuminating your ninth house of expansion, the solstice sun incites your passion for escaping the ordinary and encountering the unknown. This is an auspicious time for travel, adventure, and taking the risk of stepping out of your comfort zone. Explore the path less traveled, and this could lead to a more whole you when you are open to all the potential you possess, but that you may have ignored. Enjoy the ride, with just a little caution thrown in. Sagittarius. The Cancer sun in your 8th house of intimacy intensifies your desire to bond deeply with a significant other or to attract a new partner. To make this happen, you'll need to narrow your focus and let go of superfluous demands on your schedule. Capricorn. Shining on your 7th house of partnerships, the sun stirs you to tune into others' emotional needs and focus on giving and receiving support. Although you feel more comfortable acting independently, now is a favorable time for collaboration and connection. You can let go of your all-business approach and allow for a little creativity. Aquarius. The solstice sun energizes your 6th house of daily duties, inviting you to nurture yourself by improving your work and self-care habits. Tone down your busy brain and tune into your feelings and thoughts to identify how you can simplify your schedule and experience a greater sense of support. This doesn't mean turning off your truly one-of-a-kind approach. Pisces. Enlivening your 5th house of fun and romance, the sun draws attention to the needs of your heart. Renew your inspiration by making time to play and reconnect with the child within. So those are the horoscopes. And remember, like I said, give us a moment. We're going to take a short break here. But when we come back, I'm going to be talking about the full moon in Capricorn.
Tune in for a fresh episode of the Essential Zodiac podcast every other Friday, bringing you updates on the moon cycles and celestial events. We hope you'll share our podcast with your friends and family. Let them know they can find it wherever they listen to podcasts. Episodes are also on YouTube and, of course, on the website at essentialzodiac.com. Back to you, Cindy.
Thanks, Audrey. Okay, so the full moon in Capricorn. When I was doing the 2024 astrological overview, I thought I was having like a meltdown because the full moon in Capricorn happens twice this year. It happens on June 22nd, and then again, and I'll talk about it then, on July 21st. And the reason that is happening is the full moon in Capricorn is in the very, very early degrees of Capricorn. It's like 9 degrees. So when we go through the moon cycle again, by the time it's ready for the full moon, it hasn't moved out of Capricorn. It'll be in Capricorn again at the very end of the Capricorn cycle. I think it's either 28 or 29 degrees. So that is how that happened. And it is fascinating. So you kind of get a do-over. We're going to talk about, the full moon in Capricorn. But remember, keep it in mind because when it comes around again on the 21st, you could redo. It's almost like a retrograde, but it's not. And of course, I'll be talking about that when the time comes in July. So looking back at the start of the year, there's an invitation to review what was initiated back with the Capricorn new moon, particularly in the material realms of your profession, goals, and overall vocation. So if you keep a journal, look back to your new year and see what goals that you have laid out for yourself or, things that you wanted to accomplish this year. What's coming to fruition now? What decisions need to be made? What can we let go of, knowing that we've taken the most responsible, structured route possible? Sometimes things just don't work out for a myriad of reasons. And it's good to cut your losses mid-year and just concentrate on the things that are being positive, coming to fruition. Knowing that we've done our utmost best and given it our all, and then just let it go. Full moons are golden opportunities to take what's worked and leave what hasn't. The collective atmosphere may be somewhat pessimistic unless we choose to adopt an attitude of grounded realism. It is necessary now to accept our limitations while still celebrating all of our many achievements to date. Now, the thing to remember, too, is Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. Saturn is our planet of limitations. Saturn does sound like strict and harsh, but if you think about it, Saturn does help you to accomplish what you need to accomplish by setting up rules. You don't go willy-nilly. Like Jupiter is all about, here you go, and just throwing, candy and glitter at us. And that's where you get your stomach ache because you've eaten too much candy. Saturn comes along, and takes the candy away from us before we get totally sick. And it's like, okay, now how are we going to work through this?
So Saturn is more like the tough love.
Yes, exactly. That is very true. Saturn does not appreciate lollygagging. You have to have a plan and implement it. So, yeah. Now, also, opposing the moon is the Sun, Venus, and Mercury, and they're all in Cancer. So here we are tasked to ask ourselves exactly what constitutes security for us. Because Cancer is ruled by the moon. It's a water sign. It's emotional. So it's all about nurturing. Where might we be indecisive, not trusting our instincts nor the nudges of our intuition, but instead perceiving only cold, hard reality? There isn't just one side to this cosmic story. There are layers. There's a balance between needing to get the job done, whatever the job might be, while still paying the closest attention to what our hearts are yearning for. Our roots need some tender, loving care. We've been out in the world, slaying the dragons, achieving our goals, and finding success. We're shining, but at what expense? Where could we be ignoring the message coming from deep within? There's a divide now between head and heart. Often the longest journey that we can take is to bridge that gap. With this in mind, make the choice to listen carefully, to find equal satisfaction in outer and inner success. For in order to grow tall, our roots need to run deep. A question to reflect on now might be, what have we had to sacrifice in order to meet a certain goal? Have we sacrificed passion for security, love for safety? Have we been stuck in our heads, ignoring the wisdom of our hearts? Or have we been embroiled in subjective experience, avoiding the hard facts of the situation? These issues and more may come to light under the glow of the full moon. Family patterns may be revealed. Workaholic tendencies come up. As always, there's a cosmic offer to act differently and thus grow, to become aware of what's being mirrored to us via our professional or personal circumstances. As I mentioned before, Saturn, the ruler of this lunation, is still traversing Pisces with no aspect to any other planets. Thus, the karmic lesson to learn here would be continue to find the softness in our strength. Okay, so now I've got a couple of full moon tips that I did it specifically for the full moon in Capricorn to help you harness this energy. So goal setting and planning. Since Capricorn is known for its goal-oriented and ambitious nature, try using the energy of this full moon to set specific, achievable goals for yourself. Write down your aspirations and create a step-by-step plan for how you'll work towards them. Focus on your long-term success and the practical steps you can take to make your dreams a reality. And I've said this before and other things, it's always, if you have a big goal, it's always much easier to cope with if you break it down into steps. I learned this I was taking golf lessons, believe it or not, many years ago. And my instructor said, don't look at all 18 holes. Look at like 4 at a time. So do your best for those 4 and then move on to the next 4, etc., etc. And it actually helped. So let's say you want to lose weight. Let's say, oh, okay, I have to lose 30 pounds. Don't look at it that way. Say by the end of the month, I will have lost 5 pounds or 10 pounds or whatever you feel you could accomplish. You feel good because you did accomplish it and it makes you want to do more. So don't sabotage yourself by wanting Rome built in a day. So here's another tip, grounding practices. Capricorn is an earth sign, so grounding practices can be especially beneficial for you during this time. Spend some time connecting with the earth by practicing grounding exercise, such as walking barefoot outside, gardening, or meditating with crystals. Grounding will help you feel more centered and stable, which can support you in achieving your goals. Now, I'm sure Audrey agrees with this, our gardener extraordinaire.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If I'm feeling kind of out of it, that brings me right back.
Yes. I mean, even if you just want to, get a chair, go sit in the sun for 10, 15 minutes, or just go sit out on your deck, and just be in nature. And finally, release limiting beliefs. Capricorn can sometimes be associated with self-doubt and fear of failure. Use this full moon as an opportunity to release any limiting beliefs that are holding you back from reaching your full potential. Write down any negative thoughts or beliefs that are standing in your way, and then burn the paper as a symbolic gesture of letting them go. Now, I like that, and it's a very visual exercise to let it go. It'll appeal to your subconscious brain. So that ends today's episode. Our next episode is going to be about the new moon in Cancer. I hope you tune in. And remember, with astrology, you can chart your life's course.
Thanks for joining us for today's episode of the Essential Zodiac Podcast. Please like or follow us on your podcast host and leave us a note in the comments. When you do that, it helps more listeners find Cindy. Visit EssentialZodiac.com to check out Cindy's current promotions, including the solar return reading for those of you born in June. Those readings are a very interesting sneak peek into what the coming year holds for you. And of course, you can find the Essential Zodiac on Facebook, Instagram, and X.